Lake City, this is Good Morning PD on Live 95.
Welcome back to Good Morning PD Live 95. I want to thank our good friends at Dixie's Federal Credit Union sponsoring this Friday morning's edition. We take a certain portion of our Friday show for about 11 or 12 consecutive weeks, and we honor a vet, a person who has served this country in an amazing capacity. We're honored. We're humbled. I am extremely humbled by the service to country that men and women have given and allowed themselves to be a part of so we can live these really cool existences we do. And one of the people we want to honor today is Sergeant Major Jerry Blount, served in the Army from 1956 to 1986. I'm not a mathematician, Reb, but that's 30 years in the military. Two tours in Vietnam, fought in, and I don't know if I'm mispronouncing or not this, the Ia Drong Valley. That's a battle depicted in a 2002 film starring Mel Gibson and Sam Elliott. Mr. Blount is 79 years old, continues to serve his community. At one time, went to all these survivors' reunions as much as possible. Mr. Blount is with us on the phone, not in studio. But Sergeant Major, thank you for joining us. Thank you for your service to country. And the first question I'll ask is what I ask all of you people who I have such great respect for. What motivated you to want to be a soldier?
Well, when I was young, you always played soldier when you were little, and it just mushroomed. And after school, I wanted to get away from my hometown and trying to spread out a little bit. So the Army was there, and they offered me a hand, and I took it, and I think I made a very good choice.
You must have liked it. You stayed in there 30 years. What sort of changes did you see? I mean, from 56 to 86, I've just never crossed paths with many people who were in the military for 30 years. What made you want to stay in there for that long?
We went from an M1 rifle when I first went in. That was the old, I think it was a Mark III, I'm not sure, M1 rifle, to the M16. And the Army changed so much as far as discipline and management and how we change and do things. It was there. I enjoyed my work, and I continued to do that throughout the 50s and or rather the 80s. And I got out one time and stayed out 14 months and then I said, no, I'm coming back in. I went back in the Army, and I got back in the Army and stayed in until I retired. It taught me a lot, made me a good life, and taught me a lot of things that I should have known before I even went in.
Very interesting.
A real builder of trust and morale.
There's a battle depicted in a 2002 film, Mel Gibson and Sam Elliott. The person that nominated you said you were there during that battle. Tell me as much or as little about that battle as you'd like.
Well, it was 14th and 15th and 16th of November, 1965. Started on a Sunday morning about 12:30. We went into a hotspot, LZ X-ray, and as soon as we came in, we started receiving sniper fire, and then it just kept increasing and just keeping increasing. And all of a sudden, we were surrounded with the enemy soldiers, and it was just about like everybody was there themselves. You know, you had to you fought where you could fight, and it was continuously for about 3 or 4 days. We lost a lot of soldiers, a lot of good men, but we also we didn't lose the battle either. And it lasted for three or four, total about 6 days. The 2nd of the 7th came in and relieved the 1st of the 7th. We were the 1st of the 7th Cavalry, Custer's old last battalion. And so we were representing them. And then our sister battalion, the 2nd of the 7th, came in and helped us. And it was just shoot as fast as you can and just try to survive.
Try to stay alive. I hear that. You made a decision to continue to participate in these annual survivor reunions. Why did you think that was important?
Well, I haven't been to many of the reunions. I think I've only been to about 4 or 5. But it's a place where the soldiers, a soldier, when he goes into the battle, they create this camaraderie that is just for them. And when they get together, they feel like brothers, like a band of brothers, and they can tell and talk things that they've witnessed and shared with the other soldiers, and they have a lot in common. So it makes a lot of them goodwill, and we know we were in the best unit in the Army, and we had the best leaders who were in the Army, and it just makes it so much better when you can go meet once a year. When you do want to meet once a year, and get together and talk, and you have a chance to relation to talk about how you're doing, what you're doing, and how you're feeling, and how the Vietnam has affected your life and continues to affect your life.
Mr. Blount, once again, we appreciate your service. We appreciate all you've done in your capacity as a sergeant major. We're not just going to say thank you. We've got some wonderful sponsors who want to do something kind for you, so I'll get out of the way and let my co-host tell you what you win. Once again, thank you, sir, from the bottom of our heart.
Well, now, I wasn't a sergeant major in Vietnam. I was only an E5.
But you ended up a sergeant major, am I right?
I ended up a sergeant major.
Okay, well, that's 30 years of hard work and doing what you're supposed to do, I would imagine. So thank you very much, and I'll let Dave Baker tell you exactly what our sponsors have been kind enough to contribute to recognizing and paying respect to your service to country.
You receive a night stay at Hotel Florence, a dinner for 2 at Town Hall Restaurant, downtown Florence. Also, we have a Pepsi prize pack provided by Pepsi of Florence. You have a bowling certificate for food and bowling for a family of 4 from Southgate Bowling. And our sponsors are Pepsi of Florence and Palmetto Goodwill, Hotel Florence, Town Hall Restaurant, Southgate Bowling, PD Speech and Hearing, and Florence Carpet and Tile.
Mr. Blount, thank you very much, sir.
Well, let me ask you something.
Yes, sir.
This bowling, I'm 79. I don't know how much bowling I'm going to be able to do. I might have to sit in the chair and bowl or roll it or run it down the lane. But will they send me addresses on this?
Yes, sir. We'll make sure we get you all the information you need. We'll take care of that.
Okay. Well, I appreciate it very much.
Okay. Thank you, sir. Have a good day.
And thank you.
Yes, sir. We'll take a break. We'll be back after the break. Good morning, PD, Live 95.